Has there ever been a time where you were done and almost ready to quit the house build? That's affecting our personal lives. Is it worth building your house in 2024?
There might not be a huge cost savings for you at all. We're not quitters.
No. Are you a surgeon? Are you a doctor? Are we rich? Today we're going over some of our most asked questions and most interesting comments we've received over the last year and a half of our house build series.
Juicy stuff.
Juicy. Okay, Ferris, what is our tax situation like, and have hard taxes gone up throughout our house build?
So we started the build in September of 2022, and then it got reassessed in September of 2023.
Yes.
And so then at that point, our house, they assess you on what you have done. Like, which is it's kind of crazy because like these assessors don't really know.
They don't even know what's going on the inside of your house. They only see the exterior, so they're just making an assumption.
Exactly. So they assume that like that you have the inside of the finish. Since we had like a lot of the exterior finished, they just assume all these different things. So they just give you an assessment on what they think the value of your home is. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, deep breath there, but that's why we're trying to, we're really trying to like get this finished because we're paying, our taxes for this year are pretty high without even being able to live in it. That's one thing that you could maybe potentially try to avoid is having the least amount of time in your home at a higher tax assessment.
Go faster.
Go faster. Yeah, exactly.
Out of all the expenses that we've paid, what was the biggest shock?
It's a good one. I think it has to be the wood prices because like once lumber was going down or had been going down for like 6 months at the time that we purchased.
Yeah.
But the issue with the lumber yards is they're still using stock from like 6 months prior. And so we were actually paying premium lumber prices even though the lumber price had gone down, in the last 6 months.
Well, also what happened during that time period is labor shortages had also gone down, which made engineered wood prices go up.
Yeah.
So the labor to actually make those wood pieces had gone up. And we had a ton of engineered wood in our house from the OSB, from the trusses, LVLs, and it just added a huge cost.
It was a big
to our
shock.
house. Yeah, we didn't like that bill. Yeah.
No.
Ferris, why did we choose to build in front of a large electrical line? We named him Bob, by the way.
Mainly because that lot was a lot cheaper than anything.
Yeah.
Probably due to the fact that its proximity to the line as far as going to be behind the house. It looks close in maybe some of the videos, but our proximity is really not, we're not in a hazardous zone by any means. If I said it didn't bother us at all, I would be lying. But it is there,
If we were to buy a lot at the same size, without the electrical line, we're talking 3 times the cost, and that just was not in our budget.
Definitely.
Ferris, has there ever been a time where you were done and almost ready to quit the house build?
So many times.
Too many times.
Too many times. Every time it had to do with biting off more than we could chew with the projects that we were going to do ourselves.
Yeah.
Anytime that we were going to do the labor, I think there became a point in the middle where it just was taking way longer than we expected.
Yeah.
And each time, in the beginning, our value, I think, for our time was a little bit lower, so we're willing to put our time into working. Yeah, we're willing to spend our time on it.
Every single little thing we're gonna do.
But as the 2 years progressed from when we originally started this project,
yeah,
our mindset has changed.
Yeah.
We have a lot of things going outside of just building the home.
Yeah.
And when that all came together,
whoa.
It's a lot. It's been a lot, but we're not quitters.
No.
I think we'd just do it differently next time, or understand where our value is and how we actually, can help save money and also save some sanity at the same time.
Yes.
Lisa, we've gotten a few comments that you have a lot of lookalikes, so let's see if any of these are true.
Okay.
Hillary Duff.
I'll take that one.
Deborah Ann Wall.
I agree with this one. I do agree. She has the oval-like head and the bigger lips. I can understand that one.
Okay. A young Dolly Parton.
I don't know about that one.
And a younger Pamela Anderson.
Ooh, okay. I don't know about that one.
How has the build affected our personal lives?
Well, we got married 7 months ago and we're still living in my parents' basement, so that's affecting our personal lives. We would like to be in our own house. When we first started this project, we told you guys how we were so gung-ho to do every project, get it done in under a year. And obviously we've learned so much since then and it takes a lot longer. I think if we would have known that this process was going to take almost 2 years to build, maybe we would have considered an apartment or just...
I would have purchased a home.
Yeah, maybe.
And then sold it after 2 years and then, move in like.
We would have made different arrangements, but that being said, we are still very, very grateful to my parents because we have saved so much money, which has allowed us to put more money into our own house build. Ferris, since you started this project so long ago, is there anything you would have changed?
I don't know if it has anything to do with time, just in general for me, the size of the home is bigger than anything that I've ever lived in my entire life. So for me, like my first home that I bought was 1,500 square feet. Yeah. We lived in a van. Yeah, I don't necessarily like need the space. It does fit in with the comparable homes around our area. So that's like the main reason we wanted to like fit in with that. Lisa, are there any design regrets that you have?
There are 2 design regrets that I have. Number 1 was our lighting. I put the lighting in our bathrooms over the mirrors, so it's vanity lighting. I wish I would have done 2 sconces on each side, but that's relatively small. The other one is the tile selections in our Jack and Jill bathroom changed. When we first made our selections, we were using small tiles, we were using marble, and throughout the installation process, selections had to be different because of how hard it was to install. Ferris, where's the marble?
Okay, as you can see, we did not put the marble on. The marble is supposed to start like above this line right here, but that would have taken a long time. They're very intricate, hard to do. These are a lot easier for me to do, and once we started doing them, I was like, it will look good, it will still look fine.
Yes, and I guess I'm just not super...
She's still hung up on this one. So next question.
Okay.
Next question.
Okay, Ferris. Are you a surgeon? Are you a doctor? Are we rich? How are we affording this home?
That's a valid question, definitely. I have none of those things. But that's the main reason why we went with our, our budget video and why we're so transparent with giving the cost is because we really want to be as transparent as possible with the cost of like how much it costs to build a home. Because we didn't know all of these answers, or we didn't know all of these things going into it. Yeah. We had a good idea with your dad and some of our other advisors. Yes. But that's something that we just wanted to help other people have a better understanding, at least to see it coming from our sides. But for us, like, just to give you a background so you guys can understand where we're coming from is, we both had scholarships in college that helped pay for a lot of our school. Then outside of college, we both got great jobs right outside of school, and we saved. We were very, very frugal for 5 years. We also worked and did jobs on the side as well to continue saving during that whole time. And when we were in the van, we didn't lose any money. We actually made money while we were in the van. Not a lot, but we didn't go into debt over it. But now our careers in the last 2 years, since we've been building this home, have changed, have been growing, have been becoming more successful, which we're so grateful for. And that's kind of why our budget has changed throughout. Originally, we were trying to, save as much money as possible and fit into this, lower budget. And that's why we've added things on, is because our lives have changed. We have a little bit more money than we did before. We're building this for the process of learning to be able to build more. It's not just our forever home. Yeah, exactly. Ferris, would you change anything about the layout of our house? Yeah, there's a few small tweaks that I think, I don't know, it's hard to say because we went with the split ranch, which I really like, having the master bedroom on one side and then having the guest bedrooms on the other side. Yeah. Obviously, once we are living in it, we'll have a better understanding of how the daily life is. But right now, the one thing that is I just wish there was another way to figure it out is one of the bedrooms doors opens up to the nook in the kitchen. Yeah. And there wasn't really a way for us to figure that out without adding on a lot of extra space, square footage, and we didn't want to do that. We didn't want to build a hallway or anything like that. Yeah.
If you were to give someone advice on what to DIY and what to hire out, what would it be?
Okay, I would say for sure it has to be the tile on DIY.
Yes.
Because this is something that like I think you can like learn decently easy. I'm not saying that we're like experts by any means, but it saved a lot of money. Like the labor on tiling was way above anything that I expected.
Yeah.
I mean, we have the guys that do tile for, you know, that work with her dad, and then the tile setters that we use for the other portions. They're great guys. Like they're really, really good at what they do.
Their work is phenomenal. So.
But like for other people wanting to do it, that's where you're gonna save the most money.
Yeah.
And I think it's like worth your time. It's actually worth your time.
I totally agree. I think some other things are custom pieces. Like in our kitchen, we built our range wall. And if we had hired someone to do this would have been a couple thousand, at least probably around $5,000. But it's something that we were able to come up with the idea and build it ourselves in just about a week's time.
Out of all the places to build, why Michigan?
The number one reason for us is both of our families are located here, so we wanted to raise our own family here with everybody else. Another reason is that the Midwest tends to be quite cheaper than other regions of the United States. So when it came to looking for a lot of land, we were able to purchase a 3-acre lot for just $63,000. And in other parts of the US, you probably wouldn't find that. Ferris, did we use rebar in our foundation?
So this is like the number one question in one of our time-lapse videos. Did we use rebar or not? Yes, we did use rebar. And I understand why there's a question. It was just very hard to see in the video. We didn't really show it and document it well. But yes, there was a lot of rebar on the ground, and then they were putting that rebar horizontally through the walls, the foundation walls, and that wasn't documented. But yes, there's rebar, and we have a keyway on the bottom, which is, you know, the way that we're doing it, and is totally in regulation here in Michigan.
Yep.
What's an upgrade that you don't regret adding to the home?
The biggest upgrade we added was the cathedral ceiling that runs from our front porch through the living room to the back patio. And honestly, I love this feature about our home. Yes, we did spend some extra cash here to get those custom trusses to build that cathedral ceiling, but as soon as you walk through our front door, I'm seriously like in love. And I love the tongue and groove that we put up there. You know, our inspiration with those was the mountain homes of Colorado, and when you walk in there, you get that, you feel it. And you know, from the floor to the tallest point in the cathedral ceiling is 23 feet tall, and it just makes that room feel so big, so I don't regret that at all.
What is one major thing that could have saved us money?
One of the biggest things is the brick and the stone. So we have an HOA, and their law says we have to have 90% masonry items on the first floor of our home. Well, our home is only one floor, so we had to put brick all along the back of our house, and we also had to put extra stone on the front. Originally, when we started designing our house, we didn't want any brick on our house. We would have just put more board and batten, and board and batten is much cheaper than brick. So we added, you know, the brick was $25,000. We also added more stone on the front than we would have liked to. So overall, if we didn't have this HOA rule, this would have helped us save on some costs.
Definitely. I mean, nothing against brick homes. Like brick homes are great. Like they're like what most people want, and they're like, you know, they're very great. It's very nice to have brick on our home. We were just hoping to get under the budget a little bit more. And we also like the look of like the board and batten, but at the end of the day, like this cost of having the brick will retain its value. You know, upon the sale of their house or whatever. Like, because most people want brick. Brick is a better material, stronger material. What room are you most excited to decorate?
I am most excited to decorate our office. This is the one space that both Ferris and I will work out of, and we really wanted to create this moody, creative space for us to film in, to come up with design ideas. Ferris is filming. So for this room, it's going to be a very dark green color on the trim, on the floors, on the walls. We want moody lighting, we want built-in shelves, some crown molding. So I'm just excited to do something that's probably a bit more unique to the rest of the house. The other room I'm excited about is our back patio.
I only asked one.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I'm obviously very excited about all of the rooms in our house.
Lisa, which interior selections were the hardest to make?
I already know you know the answer to this one, Ferris, but the hardest ones to make are the stain decisions. We have so much wood in our house and different types of wood. Stain takes differently to the type of wood, the application, whether you're using a brush or a roller or a rag.
There's so many different types of stains.
Yes, so many different colors. So overall, I have spent way too many hours picking out the right stain. And that's why we've put together our own design ebook. We've listed out all the selections that you need to make when building your own home. This includes what quality materials to look for, pricing, and where to get them. Overall, it's just gonna save you time and money because you're not gonna have to dig into every single one of these selections. We've already done it for you. And as a bonus, we've also included our own house plans. First, do we regret using a more cost-effective cabinet in our bathrooms and laundry rooms versus our kitchen?
No, I think we actually found a very valuable cabinet company in Ava. I would say, like, you know, compared to the Bridgewood, which you know is a good cabinet,
yeah,
it's not as good, but it's very, very close.
Yeah.
And like we like the style, and for what we need it does a perfect job.
Yeah, and for a white shaker, that's all you need.
Yeah, it saved a lot of money. It's a valuable project. What saved us a lot of money on our interior selections?
The number one thing being remnants. We use countertop remnants in our bathrooms and our laundry room. A remnant is a leftover piece, a leftover countertop slab from a previous project that a fabricator is selling at a discounted rate. We found beautiful marble and granite for all of those rooms, and this wound up saving us thousands. Ferris, what's harder, building the house or living in a van?
Two different things for sure. Like one's active, one's passive.
Okay.
I guess like actively, like it's harder to build things. Like it's definitely harder to build things because you know it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
You know, you got to learn a lot of things. But it's also rewarding, fulfilling in that way. Passively in the van, it's just like, it's a tiny space. and sometimes it's just like, especially I think, you know, we go back to our bed was really tiny and that was hard for me to sleep. I much prefer the sleep I'm getting now.
Ferris, why didn't we sell our trees when we had to cut some of them down?
Yeah, so this was an interesting question. Like I didn't realize that you could even sell your trees at all.
I didn't know that.
Did look it up and it seems like it is a possibility. Not necessarily like something that it's like super easy to do.
Yeah.
I think like if you have a lot of trees, then that's when like people are willing to come and buy them. If you only have a few trees, I don't think that's always the case that you're gonna be able to find someone that wants to buy them. If you're able to, I would say like next time we're gonna look it up and see if it's a possibility.
Ferris, why did we build our house with toothpicks? And is it going to catch on fire or blow away in a tornado?
I knew this one was coming. So like a lot of these questions I think come from people outside of the United States that use a different building process than us, different materials than us. And a lot of people are like, why American homes look like they're built out of toothpicks and
blow away.
And it's gonna blow away, it's gonna burn down. The thing is, like we in the United States, we have our major resource is wood. We have a lot of wood. That's what we build the majority homes that we have. I don't know the exact number, but I know it's like the majority by far, especially in Michigan. Almost every single home is built out of wood, the exact same way that you saw us build our home.
All right, and for the final juiciest question, is it worth building your house in 2024?
From a cost savings point, I think like if you're going with a builder, there might not be a huge cost savings for you at all. It might be very similar to buying a home that's already on the market, but you are getting a new home.
Yeah.
You're getting a home that like you know exactly what went into it.
Yeah.
And you're getting the home in the exact location that you want to, hopefully where where you're buying your land.
Yeah.
So I do think it's worth it. If you're building like us without the GC cost, then yeah, like I think that's it's a huge benefit. You're able to save a lot of money that way.
Yeah.
If you're able to do some of the things, you have the time to be able to do some of the projects yourselves. Yes, I think that can save you a lot of money. But time is money. Time is money.
That's the number one thing we've learned for sure.
So yes. What about
Yeah, I definitely think it's worth it. I do think if you are building a custom home that you can easily surpass the cost of buying just another home on the market depending on your interior selections. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. But overall, getting that house that's perfectly tailored to you, I think is definitely worth it. So that's it for our round of questions and comments. If you guys have any additional comments, please comment them below, or any questions. We'll be happy to answer them in the comments.
and we'll see you in the next one.
See ya.